How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to 2A News Now. I hope everybody's doing well, and I appreciate everybody that takes time to watch my videos. We all know that there's more than enough gun control laws on the books, that if somebody breaks those laws and they're caught, they should be put away for a long time. But Democrats in our federal government and Democrats in state governments are constantly trying to pass more gun control laws. And most of them, if not all of them, are geared towards taking away the Second Amendment rights of law-abiding citizens. Because as we all know, the criminals don't follow those laws. Certain states make it harder for people to buy firearms by putting extra taxes on ammunition and firearms, making it once again harder for somebody to be able to protect themselves because of that added cost. And for certain states, background checks aren't good enough to be able to purchase a firearm. Just to own a firearm in certain states, you have to purchase a permit. Just to own a firearm, not to carry it. And also in some states, you have to have a card to be able to purchase ammunition. Some states also require you to take courses. And this adds up to hundreds and hundreds of extra dollars that people can't afford just to exercise a constitutional right. Now, what if I told you there's a state that's getting very close to passing an assault weapons ban? And if it passes, which is a good chance that it will, it'll put a lot of the gun shops out of business in that state. And of course, the Democrats don't give a shit whatsoever. And what state am I talking about? The state of Rhode Island. For years now, the smallest state in the United States, Rhode Island, has been trying to pass an assault weapons ban so they can become like California, New Jersey, New York, Massachusetts, and Colorado. And like I said, this might be the year that their assault weapons ban is passed. They have assault weapons ban legislation currently in their state house and Senate, and the bill would restrict manufacture, sale, and ownership of so-called assault weapons. But also it would ban a lot of other firearms as well. And like I said earlier, if this bill does pass, it would most likely close most of the gun stores in the state. A local news group spoke to one of the owners of Big Bear Hunting and Fishing in Gloucester, and he said if the bill is passed, it would ban such a wide variety of firearms, besides firearms that are considered assault weapons, that the bill would make him remove 90% of the firearms in his store, which of course would put him out of business. He pointed to a revolver in the store, and he said it would be illegal under that bill because it weighs more than 50 ounces. He said about the display of firearms he had on the table that he doesn't have an AR-15 on the table, but everything there would be illegal. It would shut us down, shut every other store down in the state as well. The Democrats claim that they're all for small businesses, that we must protect them. But if the small business is a gun shop, then they don't give a shit whatsoever. And there's this real lovely person in Rhode Island. Her name is Melissa Cardin, and she's the executive director of the Rhode Island Coalition Against Gun Violence. And this is what she had to say. Weapons of war have no place in our communities. We can see the devastation they wreak on families, loved ones, just pain and suffering that just never goes away. It's just amazing how people like this have no idea what the hell they're talking about when it comes to firearms. They're not weapons of war. They're not automatic weapons. They're semi-automatic weapons. But of course they use this to their advantage, to push their agenda to ban the most commonly used firearms people use for self-defense. And the Rhode Island governor, Dan McKee, to get an assault weapons passed in his state, says it's a priority of his, and if the bill does pass, it will go into effect January 1st of 2026. Now they were so very kindly in the bill to make it an exception for those who already own so-called assault weapons. They so nicely will allow you to keep them, but also you would have to register them with the state by 2027. Which of course makes it easy for them to make a list who has these so-called assault weapons, which would then later on down the line make it easier for them to be confiscated. Basically, in Rhode Island, these lawmakers have lost their freaking mind. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Do you think this assault weapons ban will pass in Rhode Island this year? And if it does pass, do you think it also will make most of the gun shops in Rhode Island go out of business? And in closing, I would also like to say I appreciate everybody's support with the channel, and I invite all of you to come back and watch my next video.